All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to tackle a massive question for anyone in business. Why do our customers do what they do? What actually makes someone decide to buy something? We're going to dig into the science of customer action, drawing from the work of Professor Alexander Chernev at Northwestern's Cholug School of Management, and uncover the most important tool you have for waking up a customer's desire to act.
Look, we've all been there, right? You've poured your heart and soul into creating a fantastic product. It solves a real problem, it works beautifully, but then it just sits there. The very people you designed it for seem to be completely ignoring it. It's incredibly frustrating. So what is going on? Well, the answer, according to Professor Chernev, is actually pretty simple, but it's profound. Your product is being ignored because the need it satisfies is asleep. It's dormant. And think about it. If a customer isn't actively feeling a problem or a need, then your brilliant solution at that exact moment has zero value to them. Okay, so this is the core challenge. Let's call it the customer activation problem. The reality is, most of our customers' needs aren't on all the time. They're just lying there, dormant, waiting for something to come along and wake them up. So your job isn't just to have a great product. You've got to be the alarm clock for the need your product solves.
So what is this alarm clock? Well, it has a name. It's called a trigger. A trigger is simply any factor, it could be internal, it could be external, that shines a spotlight on a gap between where someone is and where they want to be, and it motivates them to finally do something about it. This is the catalyst. This is what turns meh into I need that now.
So we know we need triggers, but how do they actually work? To really use them effectively, we need to get under the hood a little bit. And according to Chernev's research, it all starts with understanding the two different places these triggers can come from.
Triggers really fall into two big buckets. On one side, you've got your internal triggers. These are the things that bubble up from inside us. Basic stuff like feeling hungry or thirsty, or much more complex feelings like that sudden ache for meaning you might get during a midlife crisis. Then, on the other side, you have external triggers. These come from the world around us, getting married, moving to a new house, or, you guessed it, seeing a really effective ad.
Now, this right here, this is the big aha moment for any business. While those internal triggers are obviously super powerful, you can't create hunger in someone, right? You can't manufacture a midlife crisis. But what you absolutely can do is influence, align with, and even create those external triggers. And that is where marketing has real power.
So, for the rest of our time here, we're going to focus our energy where it counts. We're going to zero in on the part of the framework that you can actually control, the external triggers you can harness to wake up those sleeping customer needs. Okay, theory's great, but what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's open up the playbook. The first type of external trigger is one that you can see coming and get in front of.
These are called situational triggers, and they're pretty much what they sound like. They happen to people. Think about the big life events. Someone gets married, boom, a whole new set of needs for home goods, financial planning, you name it. They have a baby, move to a new city, retire. Each of these situations automatically activates a ton of dormant needs. And it also applies to things on the calendar, like holidays, which trigger the need to buy gifts or plan celebrations.
In fact, one of the most powerful and predictable situational triggers on the entire planet happens like clockwork, every single year, to millions of us all at the same time. And this chart just says it all, doesn't it? Just take a look at the search data for the word diet. It's not a flat line. It is a massive, undeniable spike every single January. That's the New Year's resolution effect in action. The simple act of the calendar turning a page is a situational trigger that awakens a dormant need for self-improvement in millions of people. And you can literally see it in their behavior.
So aligning your marketing with these big situational moments is smart, no doubt. But what if you didn't have to wait for life to happen to your customers? What if you could actually create the trigger yourself? Now that is when we move from being an observer to being a catalyst.
Let's look at one of the most brilliant marketing stories of all time, Pepsodent. It's hard to believe now, but in the early 1900s, most Americans just didn't brush their teeth. The need for toothpaste was totally asleep. So Pepsodent did something genius. They decided to link their product not to boring old health, but to a powerful psychological desire, having a beautiful smile. But they needed a daily trigger, so they invented one. Their ads told people, just run your tongue across your teeth, you'll feel a film. All of a sudden, this invisible problem became a tangible, slightly gross feeling. And the solution? Of course, it was Pepsodent, the only way to get rid of that film and get that clean Pepsodent smile. They literally created a trigger that built a national habit. So we know we can ride the wave of an existing trigger, and we've seen that we can even create the wave ourselves. But that brings us to a much bigger, much more strategic question. It's not just how you trigger a need, but which need you choose to trigger in the first place. Let's make this really practical. Imagine you sell paint. Your customers' walls look fine. They're not peeling, there are no major scuffs, their need to repaint is completely sound asleep. So what do? Which button do you try to push to wake that need up? Well, if you look here, you've basically got 3 different levers you can pull. First, you could try a utilitarian trigger. This is all about function. Our paint is just easier to clean. Or you could pull the emotional lever, which is all about feeling. Make your home feel like a cozy, invigorating sanctuary. And then there's the third option, an identity trigger, which is about self-expression. Your home should reflect your unique style. Each one awakens a totally different motivation. And you know what the truly great brands do? They don't just pick one. They masterfully layer these triggers. I mean, think about Starbucks. It's not just about the coffee, that's the utilitarian need. It's also emotional, that third place that feels comfortable. And it's also about identity. Your custom drink is part of who you are. Or think about Harley-Davidson. They trigger the emotional need for freedom and the powerful identity of being a rebel who's in control. So when you boil it all down, here's the crucial point. Effective marketing isn't about shouting the loudest or having the flashiest ad. It's about being a strategic, empathetic trigger. It's about deeply understanding the sleeping needs of your customers and knowing exactly how to gently wake them up. And this whole idea, this entire framework, it really all comes down to one single powerful question that you should take back to your team, to your next meeting, and really wrestle with. What dormant customer need can your offering uniquely awaken? It's not about what your product does on a feature list. It's about what sleeping need it can bring to life. If you can answer that question, you have truly unlocked the power of triggers.